I would like to start this episode by thanking some folks like Andy Mackin, Tim Mazzarella, and Knife Mummy. All of
Ah,
you. Ah! Oh, stop it. Oh,
Knife
sorry.
Mummy.
So, they're coming right at us. No.
The Dark Universe.
Yeah.
Extended cinematic experiment continues with Knife Mummy.
Knife Mummy taking the charge, going to patreon.com/duckfeed.tv, supporting the network and getting lots of cool content in return. Thanks everybody who does that. Once again, that is patreon.com/duckfeed.tv.
My name is Gary Butterfield,
My name is Cole Ross,
and you're listening to Watch Out for Fireballs. It is a Games Club podcast.
and this week we're talking about The Quarry, which is a cinematic adventure game developed by Supermassive Games and published by 2K for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series in 2022.
Yeah, Quarry into House.
Hmm.
The
It's
sequel to Quarry into House.
It's impossible for me to say The Quarry without doing it like Tracy Jordan in 30 Rock. Fell in a quarry.
I keep thinking of Corey from The Simpsons. There are some
Mm.
words that rhyme with Corey. Allegory,
Allegory.
Montessori, the Quarry.
Yeah.
This is our premium episode for the month.
Mhm.
Yes? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, just double checking.
Indeed.
No response. So I was just like, oh shit. I didn't sleep as well as I thought I did.
Okay.
So if you're, everyone's going to get these first generality parts, and then patrons are going to get the full play-by-play of this. This is a very plot-based game. So there's a lot there. And you can do so by going to patreon.com/duckfeedtv.
Yeah. And this is a
Yeah.
Cole pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great because I've been looking forward to playing it.
Mhm.
I'm an enjoyer of Until Dawn. I'm a mild enjoyer of The Man, a Madan, a Plan, a Madanama. And I like this quite a bit. I've only played the 3, but this is my favorite of the 3.
Yes. Yeah, this is really good.
Yeah.
If you're in the mood for this kind of thing, if you're in the mood for the cinematic adventure game, right? You're making decisions, moving around a space very awkwardly.
Very awkwardly and slowly.
Yeah.
Which is usually pretty serious Gary poison, and it was in certain parts of this.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's a mild bone.
Yes.
In this, but if you are in the mood for this type of game, this is a really good version of it.
Supermassive is kind of the best in the biz.
They're competing with Quantic Dream.
They're competing with Quantic Dream, and
Yeah.
Life is Strange is up there.
Yeah.
all three of those main games, and especially Before the Storm, are really good. I'm a big defender of those, but as far as doing really good genre work and making these extremely mechanically interesting, I think Supermassive has got the formula. They know what they're doing.
Kind of competing with Golden Age Telltale as well.
Yeah,
but that they don't really make those anymore. So that's just mining the past.
Yeah.
This is so if you're not familiar with this company's whole steez, they do horror games that kind of play up different genres of horror. This is a camp slasher. Basically, you play as camp counselors at Hackett's Quarry in the town of Northkill, trying to survive the night as monsters attack.
Yeah, and the United State of Deadsylvania.
Yes. Yeah.
It's part of the Murderopolis Metroplex.
Yeah, it's when the North Kill thing is very funny to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are monsters about, there are hunters about. It takes place at a quarry, but also there's hunting going on, so there is quarry involved,
You
you
don't
know?
spend very much time in the actual rock version of a quarry. It's just
No.
nearby off camera,
I
grinning
mean,
sinisterly.
the quarry's filled up. It's the lake.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
turn into a lake. So it's not, yeah. This is a spiritual successor to Until Dawn, which we've also covered.
Mhm.
So check out that episode. Um, Spiritual successor is like a real odd word for this because this takes a lot of elements directly from it.
Mhm.
The way this felt to me when I played it was like Until Dawn 1.5 or like, hey, let's try Until Dawn again.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it fixes tons of things in Until Dawn and has a lot of similarities, more than I was expecting.
Yes.
Um, it's a lot like Until Dawn.
Mhm.
It's the kind of thing where if they put out more of these, that wouldn't work. And they
Right.
don't get another one. This type of monster, they don't
Mhm.
get another one.
Nope. No, they don't.
They've used it up.
You you need something different.
Yep.
And they've got something different in the, Dark Pictures anthology, which I'm a
Yeah.
backer of, except for the most recent one, which is dog shit. Uh,
Is the most recent one the H.H. Holmes Murder House one?
yes. Yeah.
Okay, that one's dog shit.
Yeah, well, it's
I would have
terrible.
sworn the one where you go to Iraq and fight like Iraq vampires or whatever would be the
N
dog shit
n
one.
nope,
But
that one's actually okay.
huh,
Yeah.
well shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've only played the first one, which is fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they only get yeah, they don't get another one of these. We won't spoil what the monster is, here because
Yeah.
it's fun to see how it plays out if you're
The
kind of
the the
interested.
game hints at it big time, and then there's kind of a
Yes.
twist on it a little bit.
Hmm.
Which will be in the second half of this. Yeah, we won't spoil it, but it's also
Yeah.
not like you can pick it up pretty quick.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have 9 playable camp counselors, and you assume their roles across these 10 chapters, kind of exploring the camp, making decisions about how things are going to go. They're going to affect who lives, who dies, what clues you find, things like that. All of this kind of presented to you pretty confrontationally in terms of make a decision right now. Like things will not proceed until you go, or fail a timer and then you're fucked kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's about making the primary mechanic of this is making decisions under pressure.
Right.
So depending on these decisions, any and all of the playable characters and major NPCs can live or die.
Hmm.
Most of the game, and those are all different, like mildly different endings.
Hmm.
It has one of those things where there's 184 different endings. That is a little bit of a weasel
Yeah.
term,
Yeah.
like kinda,
Hmm.
but there are more articulation points than you might think.
Right. Yeah.
Um, the majority of the game is dialogue,
Hmm.
where you're given choices, timed and untimed, on how your character, what they'll say. Generally, like an emotion that you want to respond with.
Hmm. Emotion, and then like a couple of words kind of expounding on it, before you make your choice. It's pretty cut and dry, like how it gives you a good indication of how you're going to role play on some of this
Hmm.
stuff. One of my problems with Until Dawn, with this and also with the Dark Pictures, I think generally they do a bad job of giving you any incentive to be as much of a jerk as they let you be. It's like
Yeah, it's weird. I did not feel that way in Until Dawn, where I felt like in Until Dawn, it was they gathered up the worst people in the world and
right.
had them go hang out. Which is like
Uh-huh.
what if a bunch of shitty psychopath assholes,
Right.
and I wanted them to be assholes because I wanted to see the drama because they were horrible.
Hmm.
It was like basically watching the Jersey Shore or something. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
whereas I think they do a bad job of that because everyone's pretty likable
Yeah.
in this, and that's that's it's I like that about this. Weirdly, I killed a lot of people in Until Dawn.
Mhm.
All the counselors lived in my playthrough of this.
Yeah.
And not because I'm like game master or anything. I just was invested in their safety,
Mhm.
which I wasn't at all in Until Dawn. I didn't care if they
Yeah.
lived or died. These are better characters, so it makes for a somewhat less interesting story. I
Mhm.
think it would have been a lot more dramatic if
Yeah,
there had been
yeah.
a little bit more messy drama.
Yeah, it's just
What
like
happened.
like I want I get the feeling that these people would be friends. Like they've got different personalities and different backgrounds, but also like the way that they interact with each other just by default kind of seems to be like, oh, like y'all enjoy each other's company. You know, you like these are friendly coworkers.
Yeah, and even the bad guys have some shade
Hmm.
to them for the most part.
Yeah.
When we run into them, so like, I didn't want to see all of their heads on a pike necessarily,
No.
which is
No.
a big difference.
Hmm. Yeah. So you're making those choices. Sometimes dialogue choices are timed, sometimes they're not. Just depends on how high the stakes are at the moment. There are also interrupt prompts where
Hmm.
it will give you a really short timer and then just a button to stop something that you see happening or to interject to stop somebody from picking on somebody else, things like that. And those tend to be really high stakes decisions.
Yes, and there are also kind of action scenes that are handled through QuickTime events. You press the analog stick in the correct direction. These are all very easy. They're
Yes.
easier than they are in Until Dawn.
Hmm.
This is kind of helped by accessibility options in this that are very finely tuned. You can decide how hard you want these to be. Specifically, I hate button mashing
Hmm.
in games. I've decided I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yep.
Just kind of in general.
I abstain.
If the option is there, to get rid of it, I will just hold the button.
Hmm.
What is it testing? Without spoilers, there's a ludicrous thing here where you have to tap a button on a balance beam
Hmm.
at the end of this game, which is one of the biggest ludonarrative dissonance things I've ever played. There's nothing more like balancing, like rapidly tapping.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I just
Hmm.
don't. I have no interest in doing that ever again. So I turned it off. Uh,
Like there needs to be a video made like across Supermassive's like all of their cinematic adventure game kind of stuff. Like no two of them are exactly the same when it comes to the QTEs. Even
yeah.
across the Dark Pictures anthology, they change it
Hmm.
to make it easier or a bit more involved. They're not precisely sitting still on that particular aspect of this.
Yeah. Yeah. And in general, I think that these kind of levels of interactivity, things like that, like the dexterity based ones,
Hmm.
aren't really testing very much.
Just testing you're
Like it,
paying attention. Yeah.
yeah. If you turn those off, I don't think you're still playing a fun choose your own adventure.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
having the option to turn those off is great.
Hmm.
There are a couple of shooting scenes. You aim your shotgun and try to hit certain targets. Sometimes it's better not to shoot, and that's true for all of these things.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's better not to interrupt. Sometimes it's better not to win a QTE, actually,
Hmm.
from time to time, especially if you're going for certain results on replay
Yes.
here. The shooting, I have a little bit of a bone to pick with. There's a specific scene where it's handled pretty badly, and in general, it
Yeah.
only kind of matters where you're aiming.
Mhm.
It's not really looking at how you shoot
No, no.
in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And struggles are these button mashing things. Something that I like is how they handle the don't breathe sections. These were there in Until Dawn, but because that was PlayStation exclusive, they were using motion tracking
Yes,
stuff
and it
on
was
there.
really hard to do. You had to hold the controller still, and I would swear I was holding the controller still and still fumble them.
Hmm.
So the trick to those was to put the controller down,
Yeah.
and it basically worked. And it was cheating, but it was the only way that you could consistently do it.
Yeah.
The new versions, you hold a button and kind of see in the periphery a visual element and a sound element of something looking for you. You let go when it's safe.
Yes.
You're holding your breath in these, and you have a limited amount of time you can do this. But if you let go too early or too late,
Hmm.
you miss your chance.
Yeah.
These are very easy. It is
Yeah.
always very obvious when the time is to run away
Hmm.
here, but they're successful at the illusion of tenseness.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah,
about what I want with this.
yeah.
You know.
Um,
And failure on these, any of these doesn't always result in immediate death. They do a pretty good job of kind of cascading consequences on a bunch of
mhm.
these. Oftentimes, failing will just make it put you in a worse position later on. Like if it's a bunch of QTs that you're doing while you're trying to get someplace, fail enough of them, and it'll put you in a higher stakes pass or fail closer to the end, or you won't get there in time, right?
Yeah,
To save
and
somebody else.
that also depends on where you're at in the story. Like near the end
Yeah.
of the story, things get more consequential.
Hmm.
you're more likely to just die
Yeah.
from one of these, because they have to kind of compress the stakes a
Hmm.
little bit. This isn't a feature of beating the game. You get the death rewind from the start, at least in the when I played it.
Oh,
Um,
it only like gave it only gave me like a prompt to enable this after I beat it. I wonder if that was like buying it at launch versus getting some kind of like, I don't know, post launch game of the year style thing
Maybe, or
with
they
it.
patched it in.
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't
they
know,
patch
but
it in. Yeah.
when you buy this now, regardless of which, or if you bought it back in the day and you play it again, you get something called a death rewind, which gives you 3 lives, which will reset you if a counselor dies,
Yeah.
back before that, so you can save them.
Hmm.
If you decide, because basically, the appeal of these things is, see, the Until Dawn episode is a little bit playing God. Like, you're
Yes.
directing a movie, like, do you want this person to die?
Hmm.
And giving you that choice, that is really the choice, as opposed to testing you on an acumen.
Hmm.
This isn't a game, I think, that is particularly like challenging,
Hmm.
but that's fine. It's not meant to be. It's meant to be engaging and then entertaining. It's
Yeah.
intergagement, like that Garfield restaurant. It's not meant to be like, oh, you're solving puzzles, you're being a big brain gamer
Hmm.
lad.
Yeah.
So just saying like, hey, you didn't want this person to die, you didn't expect this thing. I think having some grace in that area is really smart.
Yes. I mean, especially with the characters being likable. Like, ah, shit,
Yes.
I really didn't want
Yeah.
that person to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes during exploration, you might find something that gives you a better chance at succeeding in this upcoming challenge, that you'll
Yeah.
have. So you can find like an item that might do that. You also find tarot cards. This is one of the weirdest fucking the way this is presented in game.
Hmm.
So every once in a while, it switches to a Resident Evil angle.
Uh-huh.
But it also does this when you're going through doors, and
Hmm.
goes through it when, if the camera gets crowded, it also does it.
Yep.
So it's kind of hard to watch for. Uh, and when it does that, there's a tarot card in the foreground, which you just have to click.
Yeah.
Um, I missed a couple of these. And the lady who looks at them, there's a fortune teller between
Hmm.
levels who tells you what's going on.
Played by Grace Zabriskie,
Yeah, and she's
Sarah
great.
Palmer. Yeah.
Yeah, significantly better than the totems in Until Dawn, which were ludicrous.
Yeah.
Um, this is, I was like, oh man, these must be really hard to find, and then proceed to effortlessly find every one of them after that,
Uh-huh.
because they were just on the path.
Right,
Like,
right.
I find these to be a really weird choice, as a collectible,
The,
personally.
the trick with what she is the trick with what is happening with them, it is showing you a
Yes.
possibility in the future, is real cool, and that explains a little bit more about why they are so easy to get.
Yeah, her motivation between them, like, she's not a neutral actor, which you should be able
Right.
to tell. She lives in a room full of skulls.
Yeah, she's
I
with a pet raven about the size of her torso right next to
I
her.
have a funny story about that, which we'll get to at the end. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, she's got a motivation. Her not being omniscient, and not trying necessarily to help you, the player, her
Hmm.
having her own motivations is really cool.
Yes.
That's really neat. In general, I think that they should have just had these. You should have just got them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, you don't. It doesn't add anything having you find them. It makes
Hmm.
the camera get really awkward. Like, I always turned around
Yeah,
whenever I
yeah.
saw one of these, because I would click and then press the button I was pressing, which with the fixed camera angle Resident Evil thing would make
Hmm.
me go the other way.
Yeah.
It was just ludicrous. It made my characters act more like little robots and less like believable,
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
things. This is a great idea that is implemented really well in one way and really poorly in another, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
especially because you can only like you tap one of them per chapter.
we get a lot more than one per chapter.
Well, no, you you
Yeah.
you you can get a lot more than one of them per chapter, but you can only use one of them. So
Yes.
she
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
give you a
Oh, tap like
choice.
magic. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, yeah. So it'll give you a choice. Having her just say, "Okay, here are here are your choices. Among these, pick one."
That would have been
Like
fine.
there's already exclusion in that is
Yes.
not it's exclusion that is not gotten by making the actual play, which is already pretty awkward, even more awkward. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And just adding a collectathon task.
yeah.
Like, it's there's a tension in these games. So the other collectathon thing in this is you find clues. These will provide backstory, and then there are clues that are called evidence, that alter the credit scene, basically,
Hmm.
of these. There is a tension in these games where they are cinematic.
Hmm.
They're as cinematic as a game can be, but you're still going and walking into areas you'd never walk into, and Roombaing the borders of every area you're in, looking for collectibles, which
Yeah.
is something you would not do in a movie.
No.
This, along with a slow walking speed kind of thing, both made me feel like, again, like attention.
Hmm.
In a movie, I wouldn't show my character slowly walking up the stairs every time they walked up the stairs in
Yeah.
a non-tense situation.
Right.
You just wouldn't show this. You'd cut to the
Hmm.
thing. I understand why it doesn't do that, but you could elide a lot of that stuff. The idea that you're supposed to be roombaying every little collectible around to get the complete story, I understand them wanting to add an interactive element. I think it works at cross purposes with the cinematic element
Hmm.
a little bit. I don't know what the solution for that would have been.
No clue.
Just like putting less stuff just in a corner. Like you end up with ludicrous things like, oh, a miner put a lunchbox just in the middle of the floor in a section of the room. Like just put that on a shelf that's on your way and you
Yeah.
just have to click on it.
Hmm.
Put it in a place that makes sense, and also you can
Yeah.
get it without being a Roomba.
Anytime it dropped me in the middle of like a wide open space, wide open
Yes.
relative to mostly the other stuff, and it was like, all right, there you go. Go and look, and then when you go to the goal, it says you get the option, oh, do you want to go or do you want to look around some more? And it's like, are you trying to communicate that there's something really important that I should have seen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or is
uh
it some nonsense? The other thing that can happen is they can have you accidentally go into the next part.
yes.
Sometimes it gives you that, are you sure you want to go on prompt? Sometimes it
Hmm.
doesn't.
Yeah.
And then it ends up feeling very arbitrary. Like there are situations where there are, like, say, two paths. There are two stairways you can take to the same place, one of which has a clue on it, one of which doesn't.
Hmm.
It is tedious and bad game design to have to walk up and down both those stairs
Yeah.
to check for clues. It Again, I get the impulse why they did it, but I feel
Hmm.
like somebody on staff needs to be like, we got to stop this.
Yeah.
Like
We
every time it happened, it took me out of the story. Every time it happened, it was a pacing killer. It's a big mistake, I think.
if we're
I
gonna
really
be
loved this game, but again, there's definitely headroom for improvement
Mhm.
in it, and this would be a major improvement if they just like streamline this, I think.
Yeah, streamline it, stand a little bit less in the doorway, make a commitment to being cinematic if they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stuff you have, just choosing the dialogue options and the choice you have over who lives or dies is gameplay enough.
Hmm.
Most of the additions to that are not particularly strong,
Right.
you know?
No.
So, yeah. Um,
So Supermassive, they had a huge success with Until Dawn. Just a system defining game early on for the PS4.
mhm.
And watching how people played this, how they streamed it, hearing how people played it, gave them some ideas on how to tailor some follow-ups. So some of these changes, kind of like additional modes, these are also things that they did in the Dark Pictures anthology, but they're noteworthy here. So this has local and online multiplayer,
Mhm.
where locally two people can just pass off different characters, claim different characters for themselves. Online multiplayer, like 7 people can log into a game and then vote for their preferred outcomes. You don't actually need the full copy of the game to do this. You can just have the demo,
Oh, nice.
which is real fun. They're
Yeah,
not.
that's really sweet.
It's not like a Game Boy Advance link cable
Everyone
kind of
has to
thing.
have a link cable as well. You have to set up a LAN party.
Yeah, they're not trying to sell 7 copies of the Quarry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's real cool. That's a cool idea,
yeah.
you know.
You played this with your wife.
My wife. Yeah.
Yes.
The-
Put a lot of
my
stink on that one, huh?
my wife live.
Yes.
Which is how I played Until Dawn as well.
Hmm.
These game, and we didn't play the co-op version. We took different control of characters. I just,
Hmm.
when a choice came up, I just like say, "What do you think?"
Consulted.
You know,
Yes.
yeah, basically let her make the decisions unless I had a strong feeling about it. Again, there's a funny story about that for people at the end of it. That I'm not withholding it on purpose. It just happens a end game decision.
Uh-huh.
These games sing in that kind of co-op.
Hmm.
It's so fun.
Oh yeah.
I imagine it's really similar with streaming, like having people's input and reactions and stuff. Like it's quietly one of the best co-op games I've ever played.
Hmm.
It's really fun to
Yeah.
just like sit down and watch a movie where you're both kind of consulting each other and figuring out what to do. And like
Yeah.
you're making guesses about what's going to happen, what characters' motivations are. You're making like the things that are dumb, you're making fun of.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time. There is a filter on this. You can do so the way that the lighting worked, and with a combination with my TV, it was very hard for me to see things in this.
Mm-hmm.
When it was dark, it was too dark. So I ended up putting on the 80s movie filter, which solved that for me.
Okay.
And then I put on the 80s outfits. And the himbo guy in this, whose name escapes me right now,
Jacob.
where Jake wears a crop top during the entire thing.
He wears a
And
half shirt.
he wears a half shirt. It's incredible. Everybody looks great.
Uh-huh.
He's constantly doing little dances in his little crop top. The whole thing was just like very funny. We
Yeah.
ended up playing this in 2 days, and I ended up, behind the scenes stuff. We're recording this a couple days after we ordinarily would because I thought I'd want some extra time for it. But
Uh-huh.
we ended up basically chugging it because we were just having such a good time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I played it over the course of a weekend and just like couldn't wait to get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
is so fun co-op. If this game doesn't sound fun to you and you have, a partner or a friend, even if they're not particularly into games, I recommend
Mm-hmm.
giving this a shot with them. It's really fun.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's awesome because that's also the best way to watch like an 80s horror movie,
mhm.
with somebody right there, making it a like a participatory kind of thing. That
Yes,
rules that it captures that feeling so thoroughly
it
on a
really
like a
does.
meta level as well.
It wasn't that different than Liv and I watching the video dead. For
Yeah.
the same kind of thing where we're just like, garbage man. What is this? It's just incredible fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's and we've got we're gonna planning to play the rest of the Dark Pictures
Hmm.
anthologies, and I've got a bunch of old Telltale stuff loaded up to do the same thing. We played the first chapter of The Wolf Among Us,
Hmm.
and that game holds up. That's real fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So good times. I recommend it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they added those modes, and all of those feel like really good additions. Yeah.
There's also a movie mode, which is, I think, very interesting. This removes the gameplay and you set the characters' personalities, and then you just watch the movie.
Hmm.
It'd be like a short series, 5 hours, 4 hours, or whatever.
Yeah.
There. I obviously didn't do that, but I can see the appeal.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game looks real good. The people look like the actors who they are. The
Yeah.
performance capture is really good. The environments look really good. The lighting looks really good. Some of the animation is real janky.
Yeah.
Whenever you suddenly get control of your character,
Hmm.
it looks like a puppet, like jolting.
Yep.
That part looks really bad.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it looks really good.
Yeah, but as far as like performance capture and even just like I don't know, this is one of the first really big graphical powerhouse games that I played that was like made for the PS5,
Mhm.
and just like down to the detail of like noticing like veins and eyes and seeing the transparency of the skin, kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It was like, okay, cool. I'm not normally a huge graphics guy. I think graphics matter a lot in horror. But yeah, that was neat. That is
Yeah.
an aspect of this. In a couple of years, won't look so special, but right now, and especially at launch, big
Yeah.
thumbs up.
They
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah.
The cast is really good.
Hmm.
In general, it's a much bigger cast than Until Dawn's, and Until Dawn I felt like had two huge standout performances in Rami Malek and Peter Stormare,
Hmm.
and then everyone else was fine.
Yeah.
In Until Dawn, everybody here, there's no Rami Malek or Peter Stormare in this.
Hmm.
There's nothing that quite chews the scenery that
Right.
well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Peter Stormare, right? Like, it's very hard to compete with that. But instead, everyone is raised like full 2-letter grades.
Hmm.
We're living solidly in the B to B plus range in
Yeah.
terms of performances,
Hmm.
and in terms of just kind of general charisma
Yes.
that everybody has in
Yeah.
this. Nobody who I wanted to die, even the girl who I wanted to have die in this, turned out by the end I couldn't hate her.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Extremely good cast, like, and relatively like star-studded is probably the wrong word to say this when you're talking about Ted Raimi and Ethan Suplee, but like
Yeah.
these are character actors that you're going to recognize.
And Dungeons and Dragons Justice Smith.
Oh yeah.
And they're at a big Justice Smith weekend,
Uh,
who makes one of the weirdest acting choices that I've ever seen in a anything. where
In
it's like I'm gonna
this
take
or
a
in
huge in this like I'm gonna take a huge mouthful of big league chew before every line. I don't know. I just like he sounds like Zaphod Beeblebrox's second head in the BBC
he's
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
he's a guttural
Okay,
mumble. He's a guttural
okay.
mumbler.
It's a
Yeah.
podcast, I guess. I don't know. Like he says everything like that. It's such a weird fucking choice. But even that guy ended up liking by
Uh-huh.
the end, even
Yeah.
though I was like, open your goddamn mouth when you speak.
Yeah.
You're a voice actor, for God's sakes. Put your teeth away.
Please put your teeth away.
Like,
One
you
of
gotta
the
take out the Dracula fangs. You know? Like,
one of the bigger bummers, and this is like a game's like plus side doubling back around and kind of hurting itself a little bit, which is you end up liking the cast so much that like you might have some favorites who end up being like real backgrounded, you know?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
like I really dug Miles Robbins and Brenda
Oh,
Song, like those characters.
yeah, yeah.
They're
Those
so
characters are
good.
great in
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
And
I
they're
ended up
just kind
using
of
the lion's share of my rewinds to save Brenda Song, to save
yeah.
Caitlin. And Miles Robbins' character in this is really fun.
Yes.
Dylan.
Hmm.
He's incredibly fun. But yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't get a whole lot to do.
No, and it just kind
You
of
know?
filters down to being primarily just Smith's character, Ryan, and then Laura, played by Siobhan Williams.
Yes.
And they end up taking the foreground a little bit. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to see the the continued adventures of these guys over here, please.
Same. Yeah. The
Yeah.
one real fun thing about Lauren is that her 80s outfit makes her
Mm.
look like she just came off work from like a Chuck E. Cheese. Her 80s outfit is a uniform for like a hot dog on a stick. It's great. It's really funny. So when she shows up in the second half of the game, it's and tough as nails. It's extra funny. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Good cast. We'll talk about the individual characters and what their deal is as they're introduced.
Mhm.
With the caveat that not everybody's getting a full slice of the pie here.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. And
the scenario to this is good. I
mhm.
think the concept of this is pretty good. I kept waiting for another twist,
Yes.
which is what Until Dawn did. It's got the same kind of like lots of red herring, multiple horror trope pileup
Hmm.
kind of thing that Until Dawn has, but without a cherry twist at the
Yeah.
end. I was missing that a little bit.
Hmm.
What to me makes up for this is that the horror trope narratively makes impacts the play in a way you don't expect.
Hmm.
That is a clever subversion on a very old horror trope. And
Yes.
that's the bit that kind of kept me going with it. In general,
Hmm.
like I said, they are out of my patience with
Hmm.
this kind of monster and this kind of story.
Yeah.
This does not feel that different to me than Until Dawn. Like that was at a summer house in the
Hmm.
mountains. That's not that different than a camp.
Right. Right.
It had a series of locations. It felt very similar to this.
Yeah.
But that little twist kind of kept me going.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed. Some of the dialogue I find a bit wanting. There's a lot of like kind of filling up some time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
If I have to hear one more person say, "Oh, it might be a bear," uh,
Yeah. To me, that crossed over to being kind of a funny meta joke.
okay.
In the tutorials that you do, the little tutorial film strips they keep
Oh, those are so
referencing bears.
so charismatic. Yeah.
Yeah, you keep expecting there to be bears, and then the
Uh-huh.
characters kept saying it as well. And spoiler, there's not bears.
No.
It's a monster. It's a horror game. But yeah, there's a lot of filler dialogue. There's also some dialogue that's genuinely pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
That happens. There's a couple of jokes
Mhm.
I liked, like the characters trying to make each other laugh. That made me laugh as well.
Yeah.
Which is rare. It's
Yeah.
not, we're not. It's not Citizen Sleeper. Like we're not dealing with high elevated dialogue that's going to touch your heart.
Mhm.
It's just, I would say, slightly better genre writing, slightly better than
Yes.
average.
Yeah. It's appropriate and at home here. Yeah.
Yes.
So with Until Dawn, they had their success doing kind of a mishmash of, I would say like early mid 2000s teen horror, like Scream kind of stuff.
Yeah.
With this, they wanted to go back to more of an homage to 80s horror movies, specifically, camp type stuff.
Mhm.
Which I was really excited to see when they announced this because there's it's tried and true, storied.
Yeah.
And so they worked up the script, put it together, 1,000-page script, 186 asterisk possible endings. depending on how things branch, from everybody living, everybody dying, how much evidence you find. Like, I like that evidence system and the way that stuff is, kind of accounted for at the end, just because it acknowledges some reality to consequences of things that happen like this.
It does acknowledge the reality to consequences and stuff like this. I found it unlistenable.
Oh no,
We,
no, it's fucking terrible. I hate it.
yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible on purpose, but it also ends up being unlistenable to
Uh-huh.
where I don't want to bask in the evidence that I collected, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
the idea is, ideally I would take some joy in seeing how this evidence reflected on reality. They
Mhm.
chose a lens for that
Mhm.
that is a sniper bullet
Oh,
to
straight
my
to us.
fucking, yeah,
I I
straight
I
to
went
us,
on
but
a
all, like, we're not those guys. Like, so there's a podcast element to this. This
yeah.
game talks about podcast as if podcasts are encrypted. Characters will say things to each other like, "Oh man, you listen to a podcast? That's cool." Ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. Having a podcast is treated as cool.
Uh-huh.
It's all real silly. And then it has, as a runner, and this isn't really a spoiler, there's an in-universe fictional podcast that is a supernatural / like true crime
Uh-huh.
podcast that's very effectively making fun of those, but too well to make them, and I cannot stress this enough, unlistenable.
Yeah. So
I
it
was, I wanted to crawl out of my goddamn skin during the credits of this.
uh,
I thought I was going to have a police interrogation and I was going to present evidence, but
yeah.
no, it's just what kind of absolutely dog shit podcast you listen to
Uh-huh.
over the credits. It killed me.
Oh
I was
no.
so mad.
I can't
Like,
I can't recreate it here when I talked about this on the level. Like, or even when
it's
it streamed it too. It's just like, had they ever listened to a podcast? Do they think podcasts are where one person and the other person hate each other and don't respect each other?
yeah,
Do they
hate each
do they
other and
think that
like kind of
stop each
angry
other from
flirt.
talking? Yeah.
Angry flirt and stop each other from talking. It does sound like one of those My Favorite Murder podcasts
Uh-huh.
to me. Like, they're real goofy about human death, which is like, that is a thing that there's a brand of podcast
Mm-hmm.
that is real, that does that, and it's effective at making fun of that tone.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just so broad and not funny, and the
Mm-hmm.
people they got to do to improvise it are funny people.
Mm-hmm.
In real life, they are comedians who work with like college humor and stuff. They're generally like capable of funniness.
Mm-hmm.
uh it's not funny. It's not funny. It doesn't get the information you want out quick enough.
No, no.
Uh, it reminds me a lot of, listening to it reminded me a lot of those like Facebook reels or YouTube tricks where it looks like somebody's going to show you like a hack for making a cake or whatever, but they just
Mm-hmm.
keep doing setup
Yep.
steps. And the trick is just to keep you strung along. It
Yeah.
was like that same burning in the back of my neck.
Yeah,
Feeling
exactly.
like God, I'm going to Hulk out.
It was
I've never been pelted by gamma rays, but now's the time, I guess.
it was not dissimilar to like the feeling of a panic attack welling,
Yeah.
just like I'm in
Something's
neutral, but
wrong.
the I'm in neutral, but the gas pedal is just fucking floored. Like,
Yeah. Just like, as soon as this ends, I'm gonna go like run to the kitchen and punch a bag of rice. And just
fuck it, I'm gonna punch the wall. I'm gonna risk hitting a stud.
yeah, this has to go. It is interesting theoretically how that works with the
Yes, yeah.
186 possible endings. In reality, getting that information is torture.
Yes.
So I guess in a weird way, it's like an art game. Like what if it's an art game the same way that spoiled orgasms and ball stomping are a board game. Like right at the moment of ejaculation, a big high heel comes down and crushes your nuts.
Yeah.
It's so somebody wants that, but it's not me. Like I get
Yeah.
no shame, if that's your thing, but it's a really weird thing if you were watching a conventional porn up
Mhm.
until that point, and then all of a sudden it became about crushing balls right at the moment of
Oh
ultimate
yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah.
You
QTE,
know,
QTE. Oh no, CBT, no.
CPTs, no, tap X to free ball from Vice. Oh! Hold breath for breath play. Good sensation, or new sensation. Fuck. Yeah. Anywho, it's a cool idea
Yeah.
how it articulates. It's also worth noting the ending is real quick.
Oh
It
yeah,
wraps up real fast. There's a huge sense of like, oh man, COVID came. We had to fuck up. We had to, do this really fast. It is a greased rail at the end, kind of to its detriment. You don't really
yeah.
get like what the characters think of each other. Like in a
Hmm.
game where the relationships are really central, and one character and a pairing can die and the other one can't. You don't get any
Hmm.
reaction to that. There's no coda.
Right,
The
right.
coda is just this ball torture post credits podcast scene
Yeah.
that is excruciating.
That was also true of Until Dawn as well. It was like
Yeah,
lodge explodes and then police interrogations, and that's it.
yeah. The police interrogations are more satisfying than the podcast thing, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was originally planned to be a Stadia exclusive.
Hmm.
Really dodged a bullet with that one. Google pulled first party support for games in 2021, so thus we've played this game.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be hearing this episode.
Again, weird pairing with Tequila Works having that Stadia exclusive.
We're in the 2001 hole.
Yeah.
Weird time for games.
Yeah. So this was like weirdly announced like a couple of months before it was released. They were kind of like just like next door neighbors to doing the like what was that rhythm action game that came out
Oh
recently
yeah,
here? Yeah,
yeah,
sorry, I forget the name of it. But like it was announced in March and then released in June of last year.
yes,
Which more of that, please. More just
yeah. I
like
like a fast turnaround with
yeah.
announcements and release. I understand why it doesn't happen because they, the economics of it, they need to drum up pre-orders.
Yeah, they got to get press
It's
cycles and stuff. Yeah.
yeah for AAA games. For AA games like this though, like if they can afford it, I think it's on a consumer. I always prefer it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Reviewed really well. Seems to have sold okay.
Hmm.
Good for them. And they're going to continue the Dark Pictures anthology, which you talked about, which are basically these. At one point, Will really roasted me for thinking Until Dawn was part of the Dark Pictures anthology, like they were
Oh,
night and day.
oh
It's like they're
no.
pretty similar, man.
Yeah,
They're
it's
smaller, but it's the same. They're cinematic adventure games dealing with horror tropes.
mhm,
The
yeah.
difference being Until Dawn, you get two famouses, and the Dark Pictures anthology, you get one famous per.
Yeah,
You know,
you get one famous per like, I liken it to, like, the same studio doing both, like, movie and television kinda stuff. Like, okay, we get, like, one feature length one feature picture, blockbuster every, like, 5 years or
it's like
so,
Star
and
Wars
that's
or Marvel, kind of like there's
yeah,
Marvel TV
yeah,
shows and Star Wars TV shows, but there's also the movies.
mhm,
It's kind
and,
of like
like,
that.
the quality of the Dark Pictures anthology kinda goes up and down. Like, I can go to bat for any of the first 3 and fucking abhor the H.H. Holmes one, with all of my being.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
It's such a cool concept.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
just reading the concepts, I wouldn't think that would be the case, but I
Makes
believe
it
you.
makes it even more of a shame, you know?
Yeah. They
But,
live in the like 6 to 7 out of 10
oh,
zone
yeah.
incredibly hard.
Yeah.
The Dark Pictures anthologies. Like you won't have a bad time,
Yeah.
with them. They're a good time, but they are very slight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, that model of just making a modest one of these and putting it out, like clockwork every year,
Mhm.
sign me up. That
Yeah, that's
rules.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reminds me of old Telltale
Yeah.
in that way. Yeah, which is I think there's a place in the market for that. I'm glad that's not Telltale anymore since they started slipping
Mhm.
near the end, and near the middle. And near the beginning of the middle. But the
They started slipping after that 1.5.
yeah, after one and a half pretty good ones.
Yeah.
Pretty great ones. But
Mhm.
then I think there's a place for that in the gaming ecosystem.
Yeah. And if it's gonna be genre horror stuff, fucking A.
Yeah. They don't need to do another genre.
No.
I don't need a non-horror version from this company. I think that
Nope.
the horror is specifically well suited to a cinematic
Mhm.
adventure game, better than any other genre, including like, sci-fi,
Yeah.
or thriller, like things that Quantic Dream does. I think this is better suited.
Agreed.
Yeah. That's going to be it for this part of the episode. If you're hearing this, if you'd like to hear the rest of the episode, go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. You don't only get this premium episode, but you get every other premium episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
Coming up on several years of those now. There are many of those and some of our best work.
Mhm.
There's plenty of stuff that's on the public feed, but there's also lots of stuff that's on that feed. And you get other shows as well.
Yeah.
We do our best to provide a lot of value for your $5.
Yeah. It is jam-packed, unwisely so, with
Yes.
lots and lots of content. If you have anything to say about the Quarry or this month's games, it is unfortunately too late, since that deadline has passed. But if you have things to say about Maze games,
Yes.
which are
Norco,
Gary
The
Norco.
Bard's Tale, and Bowser's Fury.
Yes.
Hit us up by May 15th at duckfeed.tv/contact.
And we will have June's games ready to announce
Next week
next week with that particular one.
in
Yeah.
that dispatch. Yeah.
If we saw you at the Midwest Gaming Classic, thank you very much for coming out.
Yeah. Nice to see you. Thank
Mhm.
you for being kind. We appreciate you.
Mhm.
Yeah. And big thanks to Gwen, our
Yes.
producer who edits our episodes.
Thank you, Gwen.
Yeah. Good luck on your
Can't-
tour, Gwen. Go
Oh, yeah.
go look up Trash Sound Conglomerate on social media and go see Gwen on tour if you live on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Go see her band.
Tour is happening here in mid-May.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think that's everything.
I think that's it. We'll
Yeah.
see you next time.
Bye-bye.